Welcome back to Call the Internet. Okay, so tonight we're at this vid by Patrick CC and it's called Why is Gordon Ramsay Always Angry? Obviously when you watch like Hell's Kitchen and shows like that, you'd think, oh, this man's angry all the time. Obviously not. But I mean, when the cameras are on, most of the time we see him being angry from the spot. But I mean, it'd be pretty boring if we didn't see a kickoff from him when the cameras are rolling. Definitely not like that when the cameras are off, but it does make for good TV. But yeah, I'll just go dive right in and watch this vid. So without further ado, about to get to his reaction.
Is kind of a jerk.
Get out of my way. Get out of my f***ing way. Get out of my f***ing way. Get out of my way!
I'm not in your way!
Come upstairs then! He won't tell me, he's got no balls. Why are you throwing that risotto away? Because the risotto's kosher. Go! Missy.
But can you blame him when some of these people are out here cooking, out here serving some of the people raw meat? Bruh.
Hey, you fat-mouthed little stupid bitch.
Many people attribute Gordon's antics to a fake persona that he displays for entertainment.
Obviously.
It's just a character, they say. However, when you consider the violent and abusive life Gordon had to endure, you will understand where his rage comes from. Gordon's father, Gordon Ramsay Sr., was a violent alcoholic who Ramsay described as a hard-drinking womanizer. When his father was drunk, he'd either hit the children or throw things around the house. We had to run for our lives, he recalled. We spent many nights, weekends, hidden in the Department of Health and Social Security rooms. Although his father abused and neglected his children, his mother Helen suffered the most. She was beaten relentlessly, even when she was 7 months pregnant with Gordon's younger sister. Gordon and his siblings, Diane, Ronnie, and Yvonne, often sat cowering upstairs in their bedrooms, while their mother was subjected to physical abuse downstairs. She often feared one day he might kill her. Gordon was already bigger than his father by the age of 12, but he never fought back. I don't know if I could ever have hit him. We were never big or strong enough to stop him. He had power over all of us. The crazy part is, the kids often spent time in Child Protective Services. Police would take their father away during his outbursts. But it was only temporary, as they would eventually return under the same roof as him. They could not escape. To make matters worse, Gordon's father didn't even support the family financially. His mother was a career nurse, and his father just worked various dead-end jobs. Dad would often have a fallout with someone at work and get fired. And because our home often came with his job, we would become homeless and have to move again. The family lived in roughly 16 different homes across England before settling in Warwickshire. As you can imagine, Gordon's education was negatively impacted due to his father's terrorizing presence. However, he found a positive outlet detached from his home life through football. He was aggressive on the field and could sprint really fast, which landed him a spot on the Rangers Football Club youth team. Gordon claims that he was scouted at one of his games by an Oxford United manager, which led him to being signed to the team. But an Oxford spokesman says otherwise. We don't have concrete evidence that he ever played for Oxford United, and none of those coaches around that time can remember him playing for us. This seems like a strange thing for Gordon to lie about, but nevertheless, football was a major passion of his. It was also around this time that Gordon was finally able to flee his father's abuse for good. His mother told Gordon and his sister Diane that tension in their relationship was worse than ever. She forced them to move out of the house for their own safety. At age 16, Gordon and Diane moved out and got their own flat together in Banbury, located in Oxfordshire, southeast England. But at age 19, Gordon's dreams of being a football player were destroyed, which was the best thing that would ever happen to him. After suffering a serious knee injury, Gordon enrolled at North Oxfordshire Technical College to study hotel management. During this time, he worked as a commis chef at the Roxton House Hotel. The commis chef, otherwise known as a junior chef, is at the bottom of the food chain, literally. Most kitchen brigades are organized similarly to the military. Auguste Escoffier is credited for coming up with this hierarchy system while serving as a cook in the French military in the 1800s. Commis chefs help ensure that a kitchen's operations run smoothly. They perform cooking, cleaning, delivery, and other support duties as instructed by the chef de partie. After progressing through the ranks and becoming the sous chef, Gordon ran the kitchen and 70-seat dining room at the Wickham Arms until he started a sexual relationship with the owner's wife.
I slept with the boss's wife because she made, a go for me. I mean, trust me, what 19-year-old chef, fit as a fiddle, is going to say no?
True. Man's not wrong there. Man's not wrong there. Not wrong. You slept with the boss's wife. Let me hear that again. Ugh. Fair play, lad. Fair play. Hey. Actually, I need to see what the wife looked like before I can even say fair play. If she was hot as hell, then yeah, I'll say fair play. If she weren't, let's say you got tested afterwards, bro.
I slept with the boss's wife because she made, a go for me.
I don't blame you. If the wife came on to me, I'd probably...
Fit as a fiddle, is going to say no to a stunning 33-year-old wife of your boss.
So yeah,
33?
he got fired. However, his experience would land him his first job at a Michelin star restaurant and his first appearance on television. Michelin stars are basically the highest badges of honor for restaurants. The stars are part of the Michelin Guide, which employs thousands of inspectors who travel around the world sampling the finest cuisine. These highly trained inspectors will visit hundreds of restaurants a year in order to identify the best of the best. Michelin inspectors are always anonymous to ensure they don't receive preferential treatment during their meals. Inspectors book, dine, and pay for their meals in the same way as an average guest. Once each restaurant in consideration has been inspected, the Michelin Guide Director meets with the worldwide teams for what is called star sessions, where the rating of each restaurant is debated. These sessions often last days, with each establishment considered one by one until a unanimous decision is reached. Restaurants can earn a maximum of 3 stars. Michelin quantifies 1 star as being high-quality cooking worth a stop, 2 stars for excellent cooking worth a detour, and finally, the prestigious 3 stars represent exceptional cuisine worth a special journey. Ramsey honed his culinary skills at Harvey's in Wandsworth. This is where a legend was created. The executive chef at Harvey's was Marco Pierre White, who is not only world-class, but also considered to be the first celebrity chef. Marco has been rumored to have somewhat of a temper. He has admitted that sometimes he shouts and screams in the kitchen. Gordon says that Marco was brutal, allegedly one night even making a young Gordon Ramsay cry. However, this side of him is rarely seen when the cameras are on. On TV, he's more of an intense savage that struck fear into you without saying or doing too much.
I didn't make Gordon Ramsay cry. He made himself cry. That was his choice to cry.
After working at Harvey's for 3 years, Ramsay became more equipped to handle the fast-paced and high-pressure trade of fine dining. He also probably learned that sometimes to run a kitchen, you need to be aggressive, loud, and dominant. The 1988 documentary Marco shows a behind-the-scenes look at the chaotic life in the kitchen. Gordon is seen multiple times throughout the documentary calm, listening, learning, and getting a taste for what it was like to be on the big screen. Sadly, his family was still suffering. Gordon's sister Diane decided to return home to live with their parents. One day, their father threw scalding hot milk over their mother, who was in bed, punching and dragging her downstairs. Diane got her mother to the hospital, where they were referred to Women's Aid, a charity in the United Kingdom aimed at ending domestic violence against women and children. The pair found refuge in one of the charity's shelters for 6 months and got help sorting out Helen's benefits. Her husband had never given her any money, likely a tactic he used to ensure she would never leave. Helen and Diane went home to find the flat ransacked and a postcard on the mantelpiece warning, "One night when you're least expecting it, I'll come back and finish you all off." From that moment onward, the Ramsay family was finally free of Gordon James Sr. By his mid-20s, Gordon had already built a resume that would land him jobs working alongside world-class chefs in France, and then as head chef at La Tante Claire in Chelsea, a 3 Michelin star restaurant. However, Marco White would present something that would stamp Gordon's legacy permanently. In 1993, Marco offered Gordon a head chef position and a 10% share in the Rossmore. The restaurant was renamed Aubergine and achieved Michelin star status 14 months later. Gordon's cooking was so highly sought after that the restaurant had a waiting list of up to 6 months and bills averaging about €75 per person. By 1997, Aubergine won its 2nd Michelin star. Despite the restaurant's success, a dispute began between Ramsay and the business owners, who wanted to expand and turn Aubergine into a chain restaurant. Gordon didn't feel he could duplicate his cooking as a formulaic concept like most chain restaurants do. After many years of disagreements and legal battles, Ramsay announced his departure and handed in his notice. The entire staff at the restaurant followed Gordon and participated in a walkout. Ramsay later referred to it as Black Friday. He described the decision to set out on his own as the most important day of my entire cooking career, the most important decision of my life. Gordon decided to purchase and open his own restaurant called Restaurant Gordon Ramsay in Chelsea in 1998. The journey of opening his business venture paired with a television documentary series called Boiling Point. The series only had 5 episodes, but gave viewers a raw, behind-the-scenes look at Ramsey and his element. Along with his cooking methods and expertise, he tried to impress food critics in hopes of a 3rd Michelin star. Although the series was short-lived, Ramsey's vulgar language and hostile nature were on full display, and he quickly became known for his loud mouth and short temper in the kitchen. This guy got fired for drinking water.
Standing in front of the fucking glass,
Bruh.
drinking fucking water. In front of all the customers. Fuck off.
Yep, that's the Gordon we know.
What's your Oreo twist?
Cadbury
And I thought
Pods
I had
of
enough
Joy.
of Taylor. No, I hear him.
Cadbury Dairy Milk, but
Fucking hell.
spoonable.
But even with these
Okay, I'm
explosive
drinking my water
moments,
now.
it still feels tame compared to what would come many years later. After establishing his first restaurant, Ramsey expanded and opened several restaurants across the United Kingdom. He earned his 3rd Michelin star in 2001, making him the first Scottish chef to achieve the feat and securing him a lifelong legacy at the age of 35. His second TV show portrayed Gordon in a much more genuine and humble way. Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares was a 2004 show where Gordon visited failing restaurants and helped to improve the establishments in just 1 week. He then revisited the restaurants months later to see how each business fared in his absence. Kitchen Nightmares was a huge commercial hit. Ramsey initially came off as quite relatable. He was very candid but still supportive in a positive manner and genuinely wanted to see businesses succeed. He used his time wisely, learning the staff's strengths and weaknesses and the town's culture surrounding each restaurant. He also used collective plural
Definitely man did
pronouns
his
like
research.
we when describing each restaurant and what needs to be done, fully integrating himself as a part of the team and part of the solution, not merely operating as an onlooker giving directions. This Ramsey made for far more compelling television and left viewers excited about the food and entrepreneurship. The more poised and calculated attitude carried on to his next televised culinary show, Hell's Kitchen UK.
Here we go.
The show created a competition between 2 kitchens featuring 10 aspiring chefs competing for a prize of €250,000, money that the winner could use to start his or her own restaurant. They were split into 2 teams of 6, 1 celebrity chef along with 5 members.
And just look at the difference. Now what we're going to do? Right, can we taste now, please? That is the worst risotto. Oh, man, I give up. That is shocking.
No, I'm trying. My heart is chef. Oh, man, what?
Due to the show's success, Gordon worked with the Fox network to produce an American version with the same name. First premiering in 2005, Hell's Kitchen US followed a different format. This is where Gordon's asshole persona was formed.
You jumped up and now got back on your section. Why?
Because I'm not a quitter.
You're not a quitter. You're not a fucking cook either. Move your fat ass. You donkey! Hey! You're fucking useless, you know that. You're cooking in a burnt pan, you fucking dick! Fucking donkey! Don't let the fucking thing!
The US version of Hell's Kitchen surpassed the UK version in popularity. The show was significantly more
Obviously.
dramatic than any of Gordon's UK shows.
Obviously, the US one so dramatic. I think I saw one episode of it. I was creasing. Like, nah, this is clearly like. What is it with US shows being so OTT like that? Like, bruh. It made for memeable moments though. It really did. So credit's due. And
With the
continue.
addition of loud sound effects, dramatic music, rapid jump cuts, and exaggerated drama.
Your special has now become not very
Very
special.
special.
Thanks to face there. Hurry up, Giovanni.
Dick face.
But I'm not Dick Face Chef.
Oh.
Yeah, say that again.
I said I'm not Dick
Yeah,
Face
you're
Chef.
pissed, are you? Look at me live. Not as pissed as I am. You fucking are. Donkey.
It became so
Who called him a
accessible
donkey?
that online started accusing
Wait, let me hear that
producers
again.
of state-
I said I'm
She
not Dick
calls the guy a donkey.
Are you? Look at me live. Not as pissed as I am. You fucking are. Donkey.
It became
Donkey.
so excessive that people online started accusing the producers of staging fake drama for more entertaining television. People also claimed that the editors use editing techniques to make certain contestants appear as poor performers to justify their elimination later. The most obvious example was the case of Amanda Tech Moore, who you can clearly see cooking here, but the only problem is that she was eliminated 3 episodes earlier. Essentially, they're using old footage of contestants, for example, Gordon yelling at someone in episode 1, to justify their elimination in in episode 10, even if they didn't do anything wrong that day, since the show is not premiering live and viewers wouldn't be able to notice
What
the
sense
difference.
that make?
Another major controversy in regards to the show being staged occurred when contestant Joseph Tinnelly from season 6, during one elimination round, angrily confronted Ramsey, challenging him to a fight before being escorted off the set.
You want a jacket? You want to talk some shit? Let's go step outside.
Damn.
I ain't here for that, dog.
The incident drew criticism from viewers suggesting the scene was potentially fake and conducted to add more drama and tension to the show to increase viewer interest. However, it was this tumultuous persona that may have ruined his UK television presence.
This was Rascal well done, and especially sending it back.
And let me just tell you something. You know, in terms of well done, look, we praised it. What is that?
That's well done.
That is well done, so stop bringing me shit!
What about this, Gordon?
That is well done!
What about this?
It's well done!
That's well
Without
done.
the added sound effects and intense music, Gordon's screaming looks less performative, which made viewers think he was actually just a jerk. But the USA audience couldn't get enough of Gordon. He was a rock star. He worked with the Fox network again to produce an American version of Kitchen Nightmares. First premiering in 2007, Kitchen Nightmares US followed the exact blueprint as the original, as the owners invited Gordon to spend a week with a failing restaurant to revive the business. However, like the US version of Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares was more dramatized and featured Ramsey displaying a visibly short temper, regularly yelling profanities and insulting his staff. Gordon once even said the F word 298 times in just 2 episodes. When you saw those 2 Kitchen Nightmares condensed into one, last year when they had those 298 fucks, I wasn't proud of that. There has come a time when, at the age of 43, I'm getting a bit tired of the foul-mouthed bully chef. In that same interview, Ramsey was adamant in his refusal to pander to elderly British viewers by trying to act like anyone other than himself. So on one hand, he admits he isn't proud of his excessive outbursts. On the other, he isn't just going to act like a proper lad to please his UK audience. Plus, in 2017, he came out with a show called The F Word, so I don't think he really cares that much. Both versions of Kitchen Nightmares produced 7 seasons and were canceled collectively in 2014. As of September 2021, Ramsey has accumulated a net worth estimated to be around $220 million, with an estimated salary of $225,000 per episode. Gordon typically earns roughly $45 million per year from his media and restaurant business. His shows account for more than 75 hours of programming and more than $150 million in ad sales for Fox. With restaurants in the UK, US, France, Italy, China, South Korea, and Qatar, his empire has expanded on a global scale. Evidently,
bad.
being a kid pays pretty well. But Gordon is also able to act like this because he has started at the very bottom and grinded for decades mastering his craft. These days, you could see him on TikTok telling people how terrible their cooking is. Whether his rage comes from his father's abuse or from the perspective of a passionate teacher wanting his pupils to learn, it never gets old seeing Gordon Ramsay absolutely destroy someone's cooking.
I'm not gonna lie, him losing his shit does make for good TV though. That's the thing. That's the thing. When you find something that works, you're just gonna keep riding that wave till the walls fall off. Innit? But yeah, in regards to his angry outburst, could it be his father? Could be that other chef, what the fuck his name was. My money is on all the above. But damn, I didn't know that about this guy. But yeah, I didn't know that about this guy. I didn't have a clue that it's about his home life like that. Definitely makes sense. Definitely puts things into perspective, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that was cut. So yeah, but nah, I'm actually going to one of those restaurants. This thing's pissed me off. I just noticed it going down. Okay, and I'm dropping right into comments to see what other people saying right now. Someone commented, I didn't make Gordon Ramsay cry. He made himself cry. That was his choice to cry. Bruh. We know you made this guy cry. Let's not cap with that one. But yeah, good credit to this guy worked his way up from the bottom. I have more credit for people that really put the work in instead of them ones that had stuff handed to them on silver platters and just freeloaded. This phone call's so loud. I don't know if you can hear it. Gordon is more strict on Hell's Kitchen than MasterChef. Because the cooks on Hell's Kitchen are professional cooks and the winner gets to run a restaurant. Now, those that crack me up is when he comes in there in disguise and they serve him proper trash food and they're selling the fake Gordon all the good food. That shit was mad funny. And someone commented, the UK version of Kitchen Nightmares really shows what Gordon is like when he's not shooting for an American audience. He's genuine and extremely passionate about what he does. Absolute legend. Literally started from the bottom. Yeah, he started from the bottom and now look at where he's at. Net worth of what was it? 220 million pounds or some shit like that. Well, because the figures went out of my head. I just knew it was a high number. Well, unless that money comes to my account, I'm not going to give a shit about the exact figure to the nearest decimal. Like, nah. But yeah, these American shows like this are quite OTT. It's the most funniest thing ever. It's the most memeable shit ever. We're just like, what the hell is he yelling at this? It's like, we know why. Oh, someone commented, I met Gordon at a book signing when I was 13 years old. He is truly one so kind and genuine. He listened intently to what I had to say to him when his handler went to interrupt to tell him something. He told his handler to piss off and let me finish. Oh, how nice. I still have the cookbook he signed for me and has been an inspiration ever since. Oh, that's sweet. Not many people, there's a lot of people that you hear meet these celebrities and shit, and they haven't had good experiences. You hear like, oh, this celebrity was rude to me, this one ignored me, or whatever the fuck. And it's like, yeah. And it really does perpetuate the saying of never meet your idols. Then you get ones that aren't nice like that. And it's like, aw, they're not all bad. They're not always like how they're presented on these shows. Like I say, reality TV can really paint somebody in a bad light sometimes, even though they're not all bad. We're all human beings at the end of the day. You have good days, you have bad days. But you just want to highlight the bad ones, so the good ones just look so insignificant. COVID though, I didn't know this shit. So yeah, the more you know, innit? But yeah, this makes me have more respect for this guy. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. I've been here long enough and I've been filming long enough. So yeah, I'm gonna head out. Okay, so that's it for this video. Like, subscribe if you want. I post if whenever I feel like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.